promotes healing, right? So, doing so going to ensure that we prevent infection, right? But with the healing, we want to keep it clean, healthy tissue, so it will heal properly, all right? So what we're going to do is nice big syringe. Now, Jace, what size of those syringes? 20?
I've got everything from like 1 cc to 60.
So this is a 60 cc syringe. This is a Toomey syringe, all right? The difference is you see this long nozzle. Hey, Chase, we get you the big 60 cc syringe. See them in that black bag or one of those types. What the reason I like these is, you see this end on it? I can direct this into a wound, and I get a pretty good straight stream, because when I clean this, I want some force on this. As I'm cleaning this out with water, flushing it, I want it to really get a good stream to wash out any contaminants, any little thing that gets in there, and I want to get good force, all right? So with this little, basically nozzle, if you want to call it, I've got that on there with the Toomey. You had some Toomey syringes too. Now, you have some that have more flat blunt tip. Black bag.
I'll check it here. Any of these?
Might be in the bag. Just want to show you the difference in between the two. So how are we going to clean it, first of all? What are we going to use?
Either saline, or if you don't have saline, you can use tap water, right?
You can't. So we want to use, number one, we want to get, do we see any big contaminants in there? And we may have to get a couple little tools where we may need some forceps or tweezers, basically. And we may need some hemostats. And we want to go in any, put some hair in this. Do I want a hair in my cut? No. So what I want to do is I want to go in, and you've got to get in, and you may have to take something like another pair of hemostats. Look into that, make sure we're getting all contaminants. And I'm going to leave some of this in here for the purpose of when we flush this out, we're going to see the difference. But we want to clean all that out. So we may have to take out some leaves, crap, whatever could have got in it, however they cut it. Because we're probably going to be around some dirt and crap when this happens, right? You're going to cut it on a fence post. You're going to cut it on some wire, some rusty wire, or when Jason decides to close this off into a concentration camp compound and puts up his concertina wire, and around he may cut himself while he's doing it, right? So we've got to get all those contaminants out. Come here, Chase. Clear all this crap off. So when we do this, we can use saline, or we can use tap water. We still have running like a treated water system, in other words. Well water, if you're drinking it, probably safe to use it, right? The other thing, what if you don't have that syringe?
Wow. Yeah,
What's your poke a hole?
poke a hole in the
Where'd you
lid.
put that?
It's over there on your chair behind there.
Oh, okay.
We did that in concrete all the time. Poke a hole in the bottle, squirt water on.
Well, that's what I talked about. I got something in my eye one time and we didn't have running water yet.
Come around here so you can see. Bottle of water. How many ounces are in here? 16. You can take make a little slit, little hole in the cap, right? And here's our cut. Now, you look in there, there's some white stuff, there's black stuff, there's some dirt that's in there. How does that look now? Except for there's a little hair right here that needs to get out. But there's nothing in there, is there? This is Deer Park Spring Water. Semi-free water. Pretty simple, right? And we want a lot of water. Now this is a little slit, you'd be better for a little hole. Direct that stream, and this is a pretty good stream that's coming out, and your force, you can hear it, right?
Yeah.
You want to start on one end, and you want to direct it down to where it runs out, alright? And you want copious amounts, you want to really clean this out good, okay? Get all the contaminants with good, clean water. It's just bottled water. So if you're out somewhere, maybe you don't have all this stuff, but I bet you're going to have some bottled water. Now, temperature of the water would make a difference, right? Do we want ice cold water to go in there? It's going to hurt, and what could we cause? They might be in mild shock, you know, they might be depending on this. It's not that big of a cut, but we're kind of looking at applicators, so hopefully they're good. So room temperature water is good, right? We don't want it too hot, we don't want it too cold, because remember, our skin is a protector, largest organ in our body, right? But when we open it up, it's not as tough on the inside, is it? So you've got to think about, now, you see I'm putting a good amount of force, right? Right? You want that, but you don't want too much. You don't want to like just slam in like, you know, like a pressure washer. You know, because you could damage that fluid, right? So a simple thing like this, how many plastic bottles you got laying around? You can make this, put clean water in it. If you know when you're putting clean water in it, it's okay. Or we can take if you've got the syringe, so but we could fill this up with water and you're just flushing. We're going to practice doing that. I know it sounds funny, but it is a technique. You want to start at one end and you want to flush it out. Okay? Now, you want to think about, too, where's our cut at? Where's our laceration at? If we have something on our head around our eyes, flush it away from the eyes, right? We don't want it to go down. We even want to hang their head if we're able to. If there's no risk of trauma or anything, aggravating injury, hang that head back so that runs down. We're not running into our eyes, mouth, nose, stuff like that. But let gravity work with us, right? So if it's on an arm, cuts right here, flush it from the top so that stuff runs out, down, and away, not back in, right? A constant travel. And you saw me a couple times do this, you could do that, but most of the time you just want to do it on one end and flush out the other. You may have to pinpoint certain areas and flush out a little better, but that's what you want to do. So, it's important to clean it, and clean up around it. Now, we see something in, so now we want to take gauze or anything, blot any excess water and stuff out, alright? Just dab it out. You can take a cotton swab, you're going to go through a lot of cotton swabs. Take some gauze, 4x4, you know, something like that. absorbent pad, and this is, she was mentioning the non-stick absorbent pads. This is what this is. All right, you can feel it if you want. You can see the difference. So, these are the non-stick. So you're just going to take, and you're going to go into your wound, dab it out. Because do we want to do this? Why don't we want to do this, cleaning it out? It's going to hurt, and think about exactly how delicate is that flesh that's in there. Yeah, yeah. So go in, dab that out. You want to get it dry, and you may have some blood. You may see some capillary, a little bit of bleeding. So, oh my God. It's flesh is getting supposed to. But if you see that capillary bleeding, you know what that already tells you. You gotta get. What should this flesh look like inside? Just like this. Very good representation. It should be pink because this is a good representation of your dermis layers of your skin, right? And you look in, you get, but yeah, that flesh underneath should have a pink, good, pink, healthy. It should look like a good, juicy, meat. When you're looking, when you slice into a perfectly cooked steak, that medium rare look, that's what your flesh should look like. Okay. So we're gonna dry that out real good. And now we can care for it. Now we can evaluate, do we need to repack this? And if we're going to repack it, what do we want to do with our gauze? What do we want to do with it?
Are we packing it?
If we're going to repack it, again, you want to wet it. Saline. And if not, all you've got is tap water or bottled water. You want to get it slightly damp, put it in your water. Usually sock it in so it doesn't stick to that
Wet
flesh.
to dry dressing.
Wet to dry. Right.
Even with
So wet. Yeah, you can do it, but you're not going to use non-stick gauze to pack. You're going to need just regular gauze.
But you're not gonna pack gauze in there if you're gonna close it up with suture, right?
Right. I'm just saying if we choose, we're not closing this yet. It may be a complete closure, or we've just chosen, hey, we don't have the skill to close this or the equipment, so we're going to have to let it heal that way.
A really good book to buy, and I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. If you can find a used nursing med surge book, just like a, just basic, it'll just say nursing, med surge, or basic nursing. You can find them at garage sales, Goodwill. I bought used books at Goodwill because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an old nursing book. I'm gonna get it, and a lot of those, they have the pictures and the step-by-step process, because what he's talking about, that long-term care, I mean, that's what you do when you're in the hospital, when you're at a rehab facility. You do those wet to dry dressings twice a day for the whole time that the patients are in the hospital. And then they go to a rehab facility and they continue that care. And, it's really, really important in long-term care.
You find a lot of those manuals,
Yeah.
like the medication manuals,
Yeah.
too, because they change so fast
They do.
that, they have to update them all. I mean, a year-old one for us. Yeah, I mean, you're talking $1.99.
Oh, yeah. Cheap.
So, here's the other syringe. This is a regular syringe that you can attach a needle to. Now, here's the thing. This can put some force out, but what if you want something real fine? You can put a needle on it, or you can take an IV catheter, right? What you can do, this is your typical IV catheter, right? That's the needle. See that? Feel that? That's what stays in your arm.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that the thing they leave in your arm?
This is the part that stays in your arm, right? soft piece of plastic,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
If you can get, then you can buy these on Amazon, any medical supplier. Look, fits right on. Yeah. So now you can take this and you can get real close. So now watch. Look how directed that is, right?
Yeah.
And the force it comes out, I can really get fine cleaning, fine contaminants and stuff on it. And see how close I can get in there? And we keep that sterile and clean, because it is packed sterile. You can use it in there. Remember that hair that was there? Gone. It's that fine string. So you have something like that. You see how even gravity taking it, but if we brought that up a little bit, like it's on and on, that's all we drain out and knock all that out. Okay? So practice this a little bit, just suck up your water in there, suck back up in this tub. And just practice doing it because it's a little bit of a technique. Practice, you can suck it up, attach this just screws on. So depending on the type of syringe you get, I suggest to get the type that has a lunar lock or what the needles sit on. If you can get the Toomey syringes like that. Staples? Look it up, look up.
No, the actual thing.
No?
Practice.
It's like $20.
Yeah, they sell the kits with the sutures and the instruments and everything too.
The staple thing looks just like the livestock one. I kinda wonder if it's even different.
I've noticed multiple bad things that I've seen is not really much different than.
You can actually twist that and suck it up. It makes it a little bit easier. You're not trying to get it through that small little thing. Spilled my coffee. Is that what Phil?
Yeah.
Get in there and do it again, Jake.
There's a here, there's a. Does that go? Most of the bandages should go in there. All this bandage and stuff. That's what should go. That goes in there. That goes with that. There should be blue and cisco caught on it. Yes, that goes in. Or next to, close to where.
Yeah,
I saw it.
Some of the smaller ones, and they have a even second person that's helping to.
Exactly, you can hold it open, you can do that with your free hand. And clean that out, so having these tools, it's cheap, really cheap. It's 2000, it's been going on 1800 years, I think. Technology, so.
I've got several downstairs.
Everybody do this? Good chance? Good. It's not real hard, is it? So, now we want to close the one. We cleaned it, did everything. We want to close it, right? So, here's our wound. Somebody was nice and they cut themselves in a nice straight line for us, right? So, there's a couple little ways we can do this, all right? With a stapler, we can assist that skin and close it off, but we want to start about right here. And there's a couple different ways. Some people want to start in the middle, some people want to start on one end. You may want to close the skin, but a lot of times I want to do it without closing it. So you see that little metal thing, that's your center stuff. So you want to line this up. See this groove right here on top? You want to line that up right on top of your cut, right? So there's your laceration. Push firmly down, all right? Keep that firm pressure. Just like a staple gun, right? And then we want to go here and measure. And you're about an inch away. See how that closed it? See our spacing? See how it let up a little bit? Those are in there, right? And you want to just push it down, inch away.
Hey Chuck, how does that feel with no lidocaine as opposed to sutures?
You ever stuck a staple in your hand?
Yeah. Just
Feels
like
like
that.
that.
And that's one thing you should think about too. If you got a closed wound with no lidocaine, the staple's gonna go faster than suturing.
Yeah, but it's a good
Way to go, Jake. Score it up.
I wouldn't have thought that you wouldn't even have to pull it together. I mean, that's the one I put down. How close to. I assumed they're gonna have to hold it close a little bit.
This is how they come packaged. All right.
Oh, so you don't put staples on, you just.
Already preloaded. This one is 35 wide staple. This is a wider staple, so you can do wider cuts. So let's try something. All right. With this wide cut, hit me close this. So, probably had the wrong hemostat for this. We probably could maybe close this with staples. Can we close this? You can close this right here. I'm gonna try it. Try it at its widest point, right? It was off a little bit, but see, it's not quite closed, is it? And that's what I mean. That's when you're gonna have to take hemostats. Get down, dig in. This is gonna hurt them, but see how I can close that skin with these hemostats, and then we're gonna staple right in front of that. All right. Or you may want to come at it like this. It might be easier. So here we've got this nice. I'm gonna get back. I'll move back about an inch from the first one. Curved hemostats. Shaping our technique with that. See how it closed it? See? Do that. So you may need hemostats to do. These are the wrong ones. These are curved little mosquito hemostats. You need the bigger ones. And this little kid here. So. So, you all practice, go ahead, practice putting your staples in here, and we're about an inch apart, if you haven't done it yet, get in there, any cuts, go ahead. Now, what are you gonna need to get these out?
The remover.
Staple puller. And what it does, it's got two little prongs, it goes in, it spreads this, because what these staples do is they go in and they curve in like this, okay? So the prongs go in and curve in with that staple puller to hold it in, obviously, into the skin. So the staple puller, when he goes in, it pushes out on the sides to straighten them up, to pull them straight out.
This is really easy.
Honestly, yeah.
Remember what I said yesterday?
It's not rocket science.
Exactly.
Very cool.
It's a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of care. Because anybody, you could go in, but did you know to really thoroughly flush this wound out with a ton of water, saline, whatever it is, clean it out, get all debris, and then once we close this up, and see all these right here? That was actually, this is a pad I used at Self-Reliance Special that I could walk people up and go, what's that? The skin stapler. Here, let me show you. In 5 minutes, I'm putting staples in. Now, obviously, we didn't go into the wound care and all that. I'm just letting them play with it to create interest and
Right.
stuff like that. But this is something that you can learn, and it's not too hard. Now, is it preferable to, am I certifying you in this? No. This is for demonstration purposes only, and what you do in your own home is up to you. But you can buy these on Amazon. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and as far as
Very
like cleaning it
inexpensive.
out, that's all stuff that kind of makes sense. I mean,
It's common sense,
it's common
right?
sense, but when you're in that situation and you're panicked, common sense is not always there, you know? And you gotta
Bleeding's going to
stop.
stop most venous blood. The ones that we're really concerned with bleeding and wound care is, you know, is a tourniquet.
Jason can't staple. We don't want
You're
him in
doing it.
charge of our medical care. You got it? Right there?
Yep, stick it out.
I think they're supposed to a little bit.
Those beautiful ones, everybody but Jason.
I've got an air stapler.
But it's closing it up, right?
Right.
So
I got
we
the
go to this
Milwaukee
one.
one, I was actually thinking.
Dad, you mean just throw this one away?
See how this is closed up? You know, you go through that. You all can practice, do it on some of these angled ones, stuff like that. But, you know, that's,
So like, if you had a cut like that, would you start in the middle?
you could, yeah. I mean, you gotta remember something. They don't use staples a lot for one reason. Scars.
Right.
Now, is there a chance that you may not, is it more precise with sutures and stuff like that? Yeah, that's what they prefer. But in a quick, down and dirty area where you don't have that and you don't have the skill for sutures, this is a lot easier to learn. And they use staples a lot in the hip. You know why? It holds better.
My sister had one
And-
there, you can't see the scar.
Exactly. You don't see the scar. And it's quick and easy. And the skin is much thinner on top with the skull and stuff. So you go play with this as much until it runs out of staples if you want. But I want you to look right now on Amazon and tell me, is this stuff expensive?
Hold on, Matt, I'll look it up. What's it called? Medical staple?
Skin staple.
And
I did
stapler.
search for skin staple.
You mean throw the other one away, the right now staples?
Jake, you wanna shoot one in my arm?
Yes.
Disposable skin stapler.
Said they're
with
best for the head,
55
so-
fully loaded
Would it
wires
hurt
is
you?
$25. It comes with a pair of scissors, the remover thing to take it out
Yeah,
too.
but
That's
you
just the
safe
first one,
for in
but they
school
go down
when
from
somebody
there.
cut to you and go,
They're
ow,
going for
will be like
$10.
that.
That's the remover, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Stapler
it was
and
so
remover,
much
depends on how many
gauge on the
staples,
Mhm.
is probably the one, right here's the one I've got. How
Yeah,
much is that?
$10.
$10.
crazy.
$10.
You wanna try it?
But it'd probably be a good idea.
I don't have the remover with me. I was just looking, I think I
was
left
I've got
gonna
a
say,
remover
let
in the
me do it,
house.
please.
But-
You wanna do it, Sheila?
Is this worth
I
$10?
so do, you have no idea, like, I really
Do
do.
you see what I mean? This stuff is not, you start looking at all your preps and stuff, what you're looking for, but let's
I don't
say
wanna
you
be
have that
crawling a
$50,
lot,
right?
I'm not.
You're,
gonna try.
you haven't started anywhere. Buy a tourniquet. Cause I really do believe that should be one of the first things you have. Get your Sam's swing. You know?
But if you have lidocaine to spray on there, you could do that really easily without.
Lidocaine gel? Sure you could.
Here, do
So,
it, Sheila.
so can you get lidocaine gel, or is that, I actually got, when I had tattooing my rabbits, I had this spray, would that work?
It'll dull the pain. Will it take it all the way? You gotta remember, that's just topical.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times they use that spray if they're giving you an injection and stuff, which I'm like, just give it a shot. They'll do that for, but remember, you're going down deeper in the skin. They're gonna feel some discomfort with this, but it's not that bad. But also, who's perceiving the pain?
Right.
You
There's
may
this
have
kind
the
of
dramatic
awareness,
one,
yeah.
and oh my God, but it's, you wanna walk around with a gaping hole in your arm, or you want me to fix this?
Will you let me staple him?
You want?
Here.
Is that on live?
Yeah.
You wanna do it live?
I got a tourniquet right in case you.
I don't really wanna
hit
do it
something.
where I might like
Yeah.
cut, no, not
Right,
there.
Answer right in here is fine,
Isn't
Chuck.
there like a thing there that would hurt him?
So. you might
Wouldn't it
get
be
a- you might
easier if
get a
it was on
vein.
this time,
Yeah,
on this
that's
side?
I really don't. Yeah, I don't want to do it up here.
You're probably gonna be better. Let's make sure.
Right there on
I don't wanna
the
hit
lower
any,
side
like,
of the wrist.
right
Right
There's a
there.
spot in his neck, try the.
Yeah, he's got a vein right here.
Well, explain to them what you're doing. This is live. There's 5 people watching.
I'm getting
Probably right
ready-
there, but hold on. Stop.
I'm getting ready to staple Jay.
Hang on.
We gotta cut him first.
When we're done stapling him, we're gonna check his sugar and see if he needs a Snickers bar.
We got a Snickers ready in there on the counter, or on the desk.
Clean the end of that staple.
No,
gun
I
off.
think.
Yeah, I'm not coming this there.
Should have gloves on doing this, but.
Here. Thing up there right here.
Yeah, I probably should put some on.
There's the largest.
The things I do for y'all.
You
Oh, you're the one
volunteered.
that wanted it done.
I do not recommend it.
And I just said I wanted to
You
do
go
it.
right
How
ahead.
bad's it gonna hurt?
It's gonna hurt.
Now you're ready.
Yeah, you can't go
Sure
back
you
now.
can.
Well, here, let me
Maybe.
put my arm down so I don't jerk.
You're live and hold
I
on.
think I might have the glove inside out.
You do.
I'm gonna bleed to death for
Yeah, I gotta get a glove on. I can't be touching your bloody arm.
That's a rough one.
Doggone.
I got it, okay.
I'm only gonna put one on because that was like too much trauma. Alright. So, right in through here? Is that what we're doing?
Or the,
Gauge.
I feel like the medic should be present.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Do I push? I'm so scared.
Just do it.
Oh! There you go.
That wasn't bad.
That didn't hurt?
No.
That's good there.
Alright, now I gotta get the remover.
Hold on.
It's all pinched up. It doesn't hurt, really?
No, not really.
Come here and look. What's it do to the skin?
Pull
Bunched it
together.
up, pulled it
So
together.
What this has done is that staple, the end of it goes in, right?
Grabs it.
Clamp,
pulls
so it goes in like this. So your staple looks like this, and when it goes in the skin, it's doing that. So it's kind of grabbing it, so you can see it pulling it together.
Right.
So if he had that laceration, see how it's gonna pull together?
Yep. I go
Keep
get
it
the thing
going
so
live,
we
and
can-
then when we pull it out.
Yeah, I wanna go get the thing to pull it out. I have a big incision on my belly, and I remember watching Logan just go through and it would just clank those things out, take it right out.
Yeah, you just put that in, it goes right in the middle, and it
Yep.
pushes that out and lifts straight up. Kind of, you pry it like that, so that it pops right up. So is this scary?
No,
I wasn't scared at all.
I mean, I was more afraid that I was gonna hurt him. If it was like, you know, if he would have
But how hard
actually
was
had.
it? It was easier to put it in there than
Then
it is
wasn't
on this,
there.
is it
Yes,
not?
it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It definitely was.
Yeah.
And on him, you you could actually see and feel it grabbing the skin where you don't there.
Because it's not pliable like real
Right.
skin, you know, it's not. Now, is this a good practice pad to do
Yeah,
stuff with?
yeah,
Absolutely,
definitely.
absolutely. Is it worth having when you do start doing suturing? Is it worth to have that? Sure. Or you can even get. Where's those extra? There's one. You could take one of these. I don't remember. I paid $15 for I think 3 of these. And so they've just taken this silicone and they've stuck it in this case. But you can cut it. Make your own lacerations. Or I use this. This is just good for practicing injections and stuff like that. Teaching somebody because I can hold it up like this and somebody can do that. Or you can make your own cuts and stuff. And I can take a knife. You know. Now we have that, see? We can go in and suture, cut it, do whatever, practice cleaning. And I can cut out part of that through there to make a gap open. You can create your own stuff. And it was literally, I think I got 3 or 4 of these for nothing. For like, it was, I think, $15 like clean shit. So it's good to have these practice. These are all things you can get like on Amazon and stuff like that. We're gonna practice here in a minute. We're gonna show about butterflies and things like that because these are.
I had to use those on my husband the last time he got cut open. I had to go get some. They work great though.
It's your $1 something at Walmart. There's 12 of them. There's different sizes. Okay, this is it. You've got smaller ones. You've got big ones, and you can. So you know the 1.75 by 0.375 inches.
And they're very sticky. Like they will stick on hair
Yeah.
and everything. They're very.
And we're gonna play with them. You know, and this is why I bought them because they're cheap. This is what you can see, and this will actually close it when you too. There's another thing. Zips.
Jason, you need an external mic,
Why?
because they can't hear you.
Oh, can they not?
I think it was when the thing was sitting over there. Though.
Oh,
think they
I didn't know how long that had been there.
See,
It doesn't
when I
hurt
say
now, it doesn't hurt.
I carry a staple gun too.
Oh, so that goes under the bottom. Okay.
So, yeah,
Do we need
'cause-
to clean this?
so basically it bends the barbs back out.
What I'm surprised is nobody has asked me the question I've been asked a ton of times about.
That's right.
See, this is my winter.
It didn't come out. Oh.
I
That was
carry.
easy.
Do you have it in an alcohol
Oh yeah, hold on.
You didn't bleed.
I would've pulled it
I
out
don't know,
if
it might be
anyone
starting
was.
to bleed a little bit now. That was super easy.
Easy,
Let's
isn't
do
it?
it some more.
You want to stay for you?
Let's run a track of his arm here.
Honestly, it doesn't hurt. It was more annoying when I was walking up to the house, because you could feel something in you.
Moving. So here's my wound care kit, just to let you know. I've got a big syringe. I've got some of these curved Toomey 12. And why do I have? Because I can direct that down real easy and get a stream. It's a lot easier with this. I've got Neosporin in here.
Oh, that's good.
This is for steri strips. This is what you have to have for steri strips. This is why I have steri strips in here. Before this, you know what this is.
That was cool.
Honest to goodness, it really didn't hurt. I mean, it felt like
Sort of.
just a prick,
Read
like
it.
somebody's pinching.
Probably like a thorn or something.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna cut this off.
Yeah. So it's a tincture.